Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. So in this video, we'll discuss about a coding problem where we are having this string given, and in this string we need to find index of the missing closed bracket for the opening bracket. So suppose we are having this square bracket and the small brackets here, and for each and every opening bracket there is a closed bracket correspondingly. So if we have this small bracket, opening bracket, so there is a closing bracket in the next index. And if we observe here, this particular highlighted opening bracket is not having any closing bracket subsequently. So we need to find the index of this opening bracket where the closing bracket is missing in this string. So this is the problem statement. So first of all, let's try to find the solution for one of the bracket, and then we can also include multiple opening brackets and find the index of all the different indices. So in order to solve this, let's try to create a list of integer. So I am giving the variable name as missing indices. Since list is an interface, we need to create ArrayList class. And here keep the cursor on that, and it will be giving the import statement java.util, and ArrayList also we need to import. So after this, let's take a stack variable. I'll explain why I'm using stack, and then we will start with coding this problem. So stack is a data structure. So in order to understand why I'm using stack, let's go to the paint, and I'll draw a small diagram. So stack is a data structure. So in programming fundamentals, if you are aware of it already, like stack is a data structure, and it is having two operations. Like suppose we are trying to add some values and trying to retrieve some values. So will be useful for us in order to store the values and retrieve from that. So let's consider this is a stack. So this is a stack, and this stack is having two kinds of operations. One is the push operation, one is the pop operation. What is push operation? So whenever we are finding an element, we can able to push it into the stack data structure. Like here we are having this small bracket, right, initially. So the small bracket opening index will be pushing inside. So the small bracket will be pushing inside. Whenever we are getting the closing small bracket, then we will be removing this opening index, so that this set of opening and closing set is completed, right? Then we can do the pop operation. So push is nothing but inserting the element into the stack, and pop is the deleting the element out of the stack. So stack will be following an concept called last in first out, LIFO. So that means it will be able to store multiple values. Suppose it is having it will be storing integers. Since we have declared here as integer, it will be storing integer values. And suppose the small bracket is stored initially, opening small bracket. So subsequently, if the closing small bracket comes up, right, then it will be checking whether we'll write a code for that now. So let's try to remember the two operations, push and pop. Push is for inserting the element, deleting the element. Now let's go to the code and try to write that. So initially we need to take a for loop in order to navigate through this string. So this string is a group of characters. So let's try to write a string in for loop int I equal to 0, I less than. So we are having the input string I plus plus. So I am starting with the 0th index and then until the length of the string. So if it starts with 0, then the last element will be at length minus 1. So input dot length is the total size of the string. So if I am giving less than, then the minus 1 index up to that, the I will iterate, and I plus plus means every iteration it will increment by 1. So in this loop, let's try to take a char variable ch equal to. Why we are taking a char variable? So in order to extract an single element, we need to take a char variable. So in the first iteration, the first opening small bracket will be taken, and in the second iteration, the opening small bracket will be taken, square bracket, small bracket, then closing small bracket, then closing square bracket. Like this, the loop will iterate. And here, let's try to write an if condition, which says that if ch equal to, suppose my element is equal to this bracket. So we are only focusing on the small bracket in this program. So we are not going to target the square bracket. So only writing the stack dot push. So we need to pass the index location only. We are not pushing the value. We are only pushing the index. So if it is a small bracket, we are trying to store this element as I told here. And then the loop will continue. Suppose if the closing bracket has come up, right? Then we have to give else if ch equal to. So in this case, we have to check. So in the else if, I am going to put in for flower braces to divide this code, and here stack dot is empty. So if the stack is empty, then this loop is not required to be executed. So we have to give not here. So stack is not empty in this case. So at that time, stack dot pop. Pop means we are trying to remove the element. So we have inserted this opening bracket, and whenever the closing bracket is encountered, this opening bracket which is stored here, it will get removed. So this particular value will get removed from here, and then the loop will continue. So first of all, let's write the code and then try to understand it using the debug. So the for loop is completed. So it will iterate the entire string, and it will find out the, it will insert all the indices wherever the opening bracket is there. Whenever something is having the closing bracket, it will try to uh, remove the index. So finally, what will be there? All the stack is having the missing indices. So in order to retrieve all the indices which is having the missing, right? So we will write a while loop here, and stack dot is empty. If stack is empty, nothing to do. But if stack is not empty, so stack is empty means it will return 1. But whenever stack is not empty only, we have to get all the missing indices. So some of the brackets which are opened may not have closing indices. At that time, we will be using this, needing this while loop, where this missing indices variable we have created for list. So take this, and there is an add method in list collection. So add, what should we add? We should add stack dot pop. So every index which is left out, it will be taken and it will be inserted into this list. So all the indices are retrieved here. And finally, what we need to do? we'll write a sysout control space and it will be giving the missing indices. So if we observe line number 10 input, opening bracket, 0th index, then first index, then second index, then third index. So the opening small bracket is at the fourth index, which is not having a closing index. All the other brackets are having the opening and closing. So the fourth index should be the output. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. The index 4 is the output we are expecting here. So let's try to run it. Run as Java application. So the missing indices is 4 here. And let's see that at the end of this string, I am giving two more opening small bracket and I am not closing them. So if we are running it again, run as Java application. So the initially the index 4 is there, then index 9 and 10 we have included right now. So it is trying to capture everything whichever having the missing closing brackets. So at the end, I am giving the opening and closing. Now the index 10 should not come. So let's try to run it one more time. So the index 10 is not coming. Wherever the missing bracket is there, only then our code is capturing that and it is retrieving the indices. So what we'll do, let's try to put a debug point at line number 16. So what you can do, you right click on line number 16 and toggle breakpoint. You can also do like this. Otherwise, if you are double clicking on this line number, it will put a breakpoint. Why we are giving a breakpoint? We want to debug this code to understand how the execution is happening. So we have given a breakpoint in this for loop. Now right click and debug as Java application. So now the debug screen is opening up. Let's wait for that. So here on the right side, we can see the variables and here we are having the debug and the console, let's place it at the bottom of the screen. So now we have to do step over. So if we do step over, the control will move from line number 16 to 17. Since there is a breakpoint, automatic execution will not happen. So let's go to step over. So it is checking whether the ch is equal to small bracket, opening small bracket, but the 0th index is having the square bracket, right? If we see the input. So what happens? The if condition is skipped. Then the else if it is going, else if is also skipped because it is not matching. So the next, if you are doing step over again, so now the first index, the index 2 is opening small bracket. It will be going inside this if condition and inserting into the stack. Now since the if is already executed, else if will not execute and the loop will iterate again. If we are doing one more time, then at the 0, 1, 2, second index, we are having the closing bracket. So this if condition will fail. And the else if, so small bracket, closing small bracket is there, the else if will be going and it will go inside that. And the if condition is also matching. Stack is not empty. So stack is having some elements now and it is trying to remove that element. So like this, the subsequent steps are also executed. The closing square bracket, the if condition is not matching, so it will skip. So at the index 4, our output was index 4 initially, so it is opening small bracket and the if condition is matching, so it will push the element. So let's try to step over. So the stack push operation happened and the next one is opening square bracket at index 5. So the if condition not matching, else if is also not matching. Like this, if we continue to execute, so this is for index 7. So closing small bracket. This is for this set. So the opening push operation has happened and the closing has happened. So the entire loop is executed. Now, if we go to line number 24, there is a while loop. If stack is not empty, then only the missing indices will be added into this particular list. So initially, if you see that it is empty list, missing indices is only created at line number 12 and it is not having any values before the code is executed at line number 25. If you mouse over on missing indices, it will show empty list. So if I do step over now, so what happens? Let it get executed. So now if I mouse over on line number 25, it is saying the index 4 is having the element. So the print statement is there, which is printing the entire list. So if we execute that, in the console, it is showing the output as missing indices 4. So now the program got terminated. Similarly, let's keep few more brackets in the middle and in the end of the string. And I'll run as Java application one more time. And if we see in the console, I'm opening the console in full screen. So index 11, index 10, index 4 and 5. So just beside the index 4, I have placed index 5 also opening small bracket, and the end of the string I have given 2 more opening brackets. So the closing brackets are missing in our string. Closing brackets are missing here, so those indices are identified. So using this code, we can this is a simple code, but the only the concept of stack is important here. Stack is a data structure which is following the last in first out. So whichever element is inserted at the last, so using the push operation, if you are doing the pop operation, it will remove that element. So using this logic, the last in first out, so we are trying to insert the opening bracket, and then whenever a closing bracket is retrieved, we are removing that element. So finally, whenever the missing indices we are trying to find out, only wherever the opening brackets are there and closing brackets are missing, all those indices are stored into this stack. Using this push operation, we are giving the I, right? I is the index. So the index is stored, and finally it was stored into this Java list collection, and that we are printing on the console. So hope you find this video useful. So it is one of the important concepts. So similar questions you can find being asked in the coding interviews. So you can practice this problem. And if you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe to your friends and colleagues. If you want me to solve any other problem, to write in the comment section. I will be solving that in the upcoming videos. So do share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Have a nice day.